All right, here we are. I'm Dr. Tony, the host Crooked Spine Show. This is Monica, the owner and everything of Music Tree in Pomona and other franchises to be known. Let's go over your story. Part of our podcast is really how do we get kids to stay healthy, even adults too, and understand how to de-stress so overall our body cannot be affected by conditions that become medical because our body gets worn out. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell me your story first, and I always go through this, not your credentials, but how you started this process and how you became a studio.
Well, how I started about 3.5 years ago, and starting in music school was the outlet for me. My dad passed away suddenly in a car accident, and the same night that my dad passed away, I had to take guardianship of my little brother. And so at that time, I was actually teaching at another music school, but I realized that if I was going to be taking care of my brother, then I wanted more freedom. And I realized that, you know what, like life is short and it's time to take a leap of faith. Okay. So I took a leap of faith. I had $750 left in my account. Wow. And I found a little room for $350. And he wanted $350 first month's rent, the deposit was $350. Okay. And I said, I'll take it.
This is the place next door, correct?
Yeah, yeah, down the hall.
Little spot you had.
The little room is where I started.
Okay.
And then I would sit in there playing piano and I would practice and.
Were you a musician before?
Yeah. Okay. So I've been studying music since I was 13. So over 15 years now. Jeez. And then basically I would just sit there and I would just, that was my way of coping. My way of coping and getting through the darkest time of my life and the most painful time of my life was opening a music school. Music is what pulled me out, and music was what kept me going and believing, I used the energy and I think the pain of missing my dad, and I just poured it into my school. So the first year was just I had my head down. I just poured my life into my school.
It became your passion per se. That's all you did.
Yeah, that's all. It was what I had to keep me going. Wow. And my little brother, for people that have kids, I can understand now. It's you look at your child, and my little brother now is 100% my responsibility.
Yes.
And
just overnight.
Yeah, I call myself a smother, a sister mom, a sister mother. And then you realize this person needs to be your why and not your excuse. And so I like it. I just put my head down and I ran, and I would just meet people. People would hear me singing through the hall, and people would find me, and just I don't know, people came.
It's almost you did, even though in my mindset I'm thinking you focus on so much on that, people just saw your focus and wanted to be part of it.
Yeah, I think definitely the passion, and I've been teaching in schools and different music schools for a really long time now, so probably for the last 10 years. Okay. So people knew about me. Someone was like, oh, Miss Monica has a school. We just found out about you. Or I did a lot of bartering work. I met people that were really great at doing websites. I met people that were trying to learn how to do AdWords, and I said, let's work together, let's help each other grow.
I'm talking about medieval times type of bartering.
Yeah, I give you piano lessons, you want some guitar lessons, come on over to my studio. And we were just working together and creating this community of helping each other grow. And fantastic. I just happened to meet all the right people that I had somebody do my AdWords the first year, and what happened was he was doing such a great job that there was 1 month that all of a sudden I had 80 leads. And I was just it's just me by myself. What am I going to do?
What's going on? I'm getting too big.
Yeah, and I'm I need to hire somebody. And I couldn't even capture 20% of the leads from that, because all I did literally was say, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to follow my dreams. I want to do music all day long.
You knew step one.
That was all I knew.
Step two yet.
Yeah, all I knew was to run. And then I looked up and I was oh gosh.
I need water. I need to figure out where I am. I need clothing. I need lodging.
That's exactly what I did.
Okay. How do you get to the next step?
The next step at that point, I started reading. Okay. So my first year in business, all I did was look down and I ran, and I did everything I could to get as many clients as I could as possible.
Just get a business going.
Yeah, and then I looked up and I was like you said, all those basic things my infrastructure, my systems, oh my goodness, what am I doing?
I have a business. What is the business? How am I going to keep it going?
Yeah, exactly. And so in my second year, that's when I realized I had no choice but to I went on like a little vacation and I sat down and I wrote all my goals out. I wrote everything that I wanted for my life to create the life I wanted, but how was I going to get there? And I realized I needed to work on myself and become the best person that I needed to be. So I started reading books. I started
what kind of books, like?
Basically just any kind of business books. I reread Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, huge.
I read You Are a Badass. I started watching Gary.
Language. This is, listen here. This is for normal people.
Right?
It's language. iTunes is gonna ban me.
I read. What else did I just kept reading? I just kept reading different books.
Did you have mentors too? You had mentioned any mentors?
Yeah, I had mentors, and then I would just ask questions. I said, I have always run into people that have, I think, really have been beneficial. You know, I've met other entrepreneurs and people that are maybe like a lot bigger, and I'm like, can you tell me what do I need to do? You know,
I'm here. What do I do? I've gone far enough. Would have to learn, do
exactly.
Figure it out. That would be next step.
Yeah, and I got rid of my TV. I still don't own a TV.
Fantastic.
I actually think I'm going to buy a TV this year. I think I've earned it, but for 2 years, I didn't own a TV, and all I did was listen to podcasts, listen to TED Talks, listen to read a book, or work on my business. And I said I'm not going to do anything until I get to where I need to be. Until I want a business that's going to impact the community, and I need to work on myself. And then I was like,
what year was that? Was that this year, last year?
I would say that was going into.
The race is talking about zero, basically 3 years ago, 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. So that was 0 to 1 was kind of my head down. And then going into the first year, I was like, okay, expand. Okay.
And I was kind of learning, but still kind of going through the motions, okay, I need to get more. But the mistake that I made in my second year was that I stretched myself too thin. I thought oh, I'm the business owner. I'm going to work here. I'm going to do here. I'm going to do that. And then I was knocked out. I was doing too much.
Yes.
And my infrastructure. That's when I realized my infrastructure was failing. Because we were missing appointments, I wasn't making phone calls on time. I was missing all this stuff, and that's when I was like, oh my goodness, I need to get a system in place.
Huge.
So then in January of this year,
of 2017, okay.
Yeah, so that would have been going into 2.5 year mark.
Okay.
Our birthday is in April.
Okay.
So going into January is when I created that list, and I said, oh gosh, what do I need to do next? And that's where I changed my life. I started working out, getting up earlier, started doing yoga, meditating, reading books, finally went digital and got new software and started willing to put, I guess, the money out that I needed to create a better business.
Well, the ROI is going to be positive as long as you see the big picture.
Yeah, so I had to think better. But I also was in a place where the first year I grew so fast.
Was it just yourself, or did you have other staff around the first year, second year?
The first year was me, myself,
okay.
And then by that time I hired 2 other people.
Okay.
And then going into January, so I had 4 people in January of this year.
So you had 4 people going into almost your third year, which is this last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in January of this year, we had 4 people, and that's when I said, okay, I need to be better. I need to work on being a leader. I need to do this. What else? What do I need to do? And also, by the way, in January, I realized that's where I got too complacent, because after I did the numbers, when I got back from, taking a trip, I sat down, I did the numbers, and a lot of times in music schools, if you don't continue to keep growing, by the 2-year mark, you see kind of a flush, because those kids are like, oh, we want to do soccer now, we want to do gymnastics, we want to do this. And so I counted my numbers, and I don't tell a lot of people this, but my numbers, I was at 36 students.
Okay.
And at 36 students, I was not going to be able to pay my rent.
Overhead is here.
Yeah.
And your income is here.
Exactly. Okay. I wasn't going to be able to pay my rent.
No.
I wasn't going to be able to pay my payroll. I wasn't.
You weren't a big empire by then either. This is just.
No. And so that's when I made the decision.
Okay.
I made the decision in January. So from January 15th to February 15th, we doubled our numbers.
What?
All I did was I did a social media contest. I did the things that were supposed to make me uncomfortable. Got on social media.
Welcome. Watch your language, but welcome.
Right.
Fantastic.
Got on social media. Started asking people
that's one
to
thing
yell.
you learned on social media So what I'm telling people that they go, I don't like social media, but that's what you do all day long. That's where you learn your business, that's where you listen to podcasts, watch videos, and even have your own books too. But why wouldn't you want yourself on there?
Yeah. And people don't realize that so many people are willing to help. If you don't ask for help, no one's going to help you. You need to ask for it. And so I started asking for help. I said, do you guys know anybody that, you might want to bring to our school and this and that. And so just to keep the story short, from January of this year, we had 36 students. And now in December, kicking off going into January, of 2018,
year later almost.
We are at 176 students.
What the heck?
And my life has changed considerably in the last year.
You've understood how the system works. And now you understand, okay, if I have a system in play, like some companies hopefully understand and now in the future, you don't have to worry about paying the bills, about calling that person. You have people doing that. You delegate more, focus on just the kids, just the adults you want to work with to have higher quality clients so they give you the personal referral.
Yeah.
Again, medieval times, the best referral is a personal referral, word of mouth.
Yeah, definitely.
Always is. So even though we have Yelp, we have Google reviews, we have things like that which are great to have, you want to focus on personal because that tells you you've done a good job with your clients, right?
Yeah, and once they hear from someone that already has experienced your service, they know.
Good.
And then, by the way, we went from 4 teachers to now I have a staff of 10.
Amazing.
So
good.
Yeah.
So now you have a system down, you have the right people on site too. How do we get back to how are we helping people? Now that you have this base, how do you maintain that by getting more people to understand what you do? And what do you do? How do you help people? If you want to call it your own personal story, music was a therapy for you. Have you progressed that on to other people, the same experience with your clients?
I would say, basically, I share with people that when they come into Music Tree, that when they walk through these doors, that I want them to experience like love, joy, and peace, and like a deep-rooted, fruitful music education. Meaning that I want like fruit that's everlasting, like good fruit, because you don't eat like fruit from a tree that tastes bad. You're not gonna, you don't want that.
Bad. Last time we got that fruit, I don't like that because that gave me a bad taste last time.
Yeah, and you want to have that, and so I think and I really share with people that if you don't give up, if you practice and you work hard, like you're gonna make it. Like you can do whatever you want. That you can achieve being a good singer. You can achieve being a good piano player. What's really great about Music Tree is it's not the typical and I've worked for other music schools like this, not the typical music school where you have to be at this level. Like we take you at any level. We take you from 3 years old all the way up to adults, and this is a place where you can come in, you can feel safe, you can feel like you're expressing yourself through music. We're planting a seed and letting that seed grow.
And for a child too, what I've seen in the past is when you give a child, hey look, let's start you here and build you up here, then here to here to here. What does that build in their character?
I mean, it gives them confidence.
Huge.
So the confidence and everything here, when I interview teachers and the way that I train everybody here is everything's about positive reinforcement, making sure that these kids are that they're learning. They get 30 minutes or an hour a week, and they're sitting here, and that time I tell the teachers here, you better make sure that you're zoned in on that child and that 110% of who you are is on that child. That this lesson is theirs and everything's and you're giving them praise, you're helping them, you're letting them feel safe, and that's a chance for them to flourish because they're getting confidence, self-esteem, learning discipline.
Self-confidence, self-esteem is massive, and when you're with a child, and for me being with my patients too, when you're with them, they see that.
Yeah.
The parents see that. You don't do it for the parents, but you do it for the kids. Kids leave and go, wow, I had a great experience. I had a good time. I can't wait till my next lesson.
Yeah.
You want that response, I think, from your maybe a kid or an adult too. You want to see that energy increase when they leave. Wherever they came in, for me, whenever they came in, even if they're sad and pain, whatever it is as a chiropractor, I want them leaving a little bit better. Maybe just emotionally, not in pain yet, they have more hope. They have a sense of, okay, I'm at the right place.
Yeah.
I know where I am.
Yeah.
That's great. Good. And you said with kids too, are they more based on learning how to sing, learning how to play an instrument, or what do you work with them?
Depending on the age, if they're really young, they get a little bit of a mixture. We have something called First Notes and ABCs, where it's for 3 to 5 year olds. And so they're learning their phonics at the same time in letters.
What are phonics?
So like A says ah and A says ah.
What?
Every letter makes a sound. Yeah. So parents don't feel like, because maybe not everybody's into music.
Yes.
So,
parents have, me, I have no parent. I have no idea what soccer was. My kids are playing soccer.
right?
And I have no idea what music is because I'm not a musician.
Yeah.
But how do you, as an instructor, see the kid light up and parents go, I'm at the right place with my kid?
So they come in and not in the really young stages. They are learning other things that are going to also help them for moving on in life, like going to kindergarten or something.
Good.
So I made this program where they learn their letters, their colors, and they kind of mix it in together, and they learn a little bit of music appreciation. They learn how to read their notes. They learn how to write them, but they're doing it through play and through fun. And we
what
learn
age
how to
group
read
is
music.
this?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Okay.
And so I have some 2.5-year-olds that actually do it.
It depends on their ability to come in, right?
Yeah, you'd be amazed. Like 4-year-olds can read music and play with both hands because they're learning through color, and they're learning through. We're trying to hit all the senses. Like they touch it, they see it, they hear it, and it's amazing.
What's like they say, a kid can learn 3 languages by the time they're 7 years old. Same thing with music.
I would say so. Yeah, well, music is a language.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. She just put it in my yes, voice.
It's a language.
And then after 5, what's your next age group you work with usually?
So it goes all the way up to adult.
Okay.
The most popular age group that we have here, I would say, is anywhere from 5 years old up to about like 14, 15.
Okay.
That's like we have a really huge group of young ones, and then after that, it's kind of like 10-year-olds, and then a little bit of high school. But we also have a pretty big age group of adults.
Oh, really?
Adults come here.
We'll go back to the teenage group too. The say, for example, elementary school, junior high, maybe a little bit of high school too. What is their forte, and what do they want to accomplish?
Some of them just want to accomplish learning how. A lot of them come here to sing or play piano.
Okay.
They want to learn how to sing or maybe get better so that they can audition for a show at school.
Yes.
A lot of parents will say they've showed interest in singing, but they're really shy. And so we have something here called musical theater workshop.
Okay.
And it makes me so happy to see.
This is your forte. This is what you do.
Yeah, musical theater is like my passion. But we have musical theater workshop, and the kids come in and they get like a 3-hour class every week where they're learning how to dance, sing, act, stage presence, how to audition, and it's the same group of kids, and they're around each other. And because it's not a competitive program, it's just meant to teach them, prepare them for if they want that. But that's not what it is here at Music Tree. And to see the kids that come in here so shy and afraid to even open their mouths at the end of a show, so confident, and unafraid. It's just it's amazing what it does for them.
Well, you see that, and that's what I talked earlier too, is how do you build and maintain a kid's confidence, self-esteem, so when you're in here, they're having fun with saying about 10 kids. Mm-hmm. But when they leave here, they have the same confidence going to their school and going to their church and going to their groups and their family too. That makes them, and not say a better student, but it makes it easier to learn, easier to be in an environment with other people, easier to raise your hand in class, to ask for help for ones who need help. It makes a better person.
Yeah, and I can't even tell you how many text messages I get every once in a while with parents saying, thank you so much. My child wouldn't even stay alone after school at the, before, and ever since musical theater program, now, he or she wants to try it for this thing at school. Or, hey, Miss Monica, I got, they're playing this song at school. Do you think you could teach it to me? I want to go see if my teacher will let me play it.
You're like, sure.
Of course. Great. Yeah, come on over. Let's learn it. So, yeah, the kids are going out there and they're trying things because they feel confident.
But you built that bridge with them, or they built it, but you've been that mediator, how to get more confident, more self-esteem, keep going back to that, and because it seems like a great way to deal with that. Do kids come sometimes just a stressed kid where it's hard for him to, or her to, kind of break down, let things in?
Definitely. We actually, we even have a handful of students, and I've taught over the years many students that are dealing with either parents are bringing them for stress relief, parents are bringing them because I've even had students that maybe are kind of on the spectrum for autism, or are dealing with other things like that, and they come here, and music is more therapy for them. So it's not necessarily like, oh hey, I have to get from point A to point B. I don't
want to sing in the opera, but how do I get myself to be more relaxed?
Yeah, I'm here to just relax. I'm just here to or some of the kids they go through a drum lesson and they come out less stressed because they were able to
focus on that versus on their stress inside their body.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And it's so interesting. So my little brother, for example, the one that I'm raising, one of the coolest things that he had said to me like a while back, it's just coming to my head right now, but I think I was having a really hard day. I think I like blew up at home or something, and I had one of those.
I want days to.
Yeah, one of those moments.
Okay.
And I was just like, what do you do like when you're like, stressed or whatever? It's like, I don't know, I just don't deal with it like that. He's like, I just go and I play the guitar. And he's been taking guitar lessons with Music Tree since I opened.
Wow.
And so for him to be like, he's like, he's like, if I just want to be in a better mood, I just play guitar.
And some people say, I can't focus on my stress, I'm focusing on this.
Yeah.
It's hard to do things. Why not focus on this that makes you happy? Helps relax your body, your mental state too, and let that kind of just go away.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
So definitely being able to express themselves. I sometimes I ask my students every once in a while, I'll be like, so like, what is music for you? Or like, why do you like doing music? And a lot of the answers I get is because it's a way that I can express myself. Mm-hmm. It's a way to escape. Okay. I get also, it's given me confidence, or it's taught me to not be shy. So it does a lot of things. Because I mean, if you don't have confidence and you're shy, like, you have anxiety.
You can have either anxiety or you can have confidence. You can be stressed or relaxed.
Yeah.
You can't do both. Yeah. And what I deal with a lot in my patients is movement to cause it to happen. You're dealing with motion at a smaller level and a thought process. I have to coordinate and stay in rhythm per se, and especially being a musician, so I can focus on that, not on what's going on inside. When I don't move, then my body becomes more and more stressed. Yeah. And then to express themselves at smaller amounts, and what I have people do is work out, exercise, and do stretching and strength training. Yours is more of the mental part and the rhythm, I think. Is that how you explain it, of how they de-stress?
I'd say that, or it's because you're focusing so much on something else rather than maybe what you're stressing on.
You're being in the now almost too. You're being in the present moment. So everything in the future, anxiety, and the past, regrets, and people would say doesn't exist. You don't have time for that.
You're just there.
You're
playing a piece of music.
Yeah, you're going to sound horrible if you're focusing over here versus just here, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing in singing, a lot of times, is like I have to tell a lot of students, like, don't think about anything, just be. And it's like, what? Like, what do you mean just be? I'm like, you literally just exist.
Yeah.
And just let the sound come out. And that's what's so beautiful about music. Like, it does something where you're just, like, especially you're performing, you're just in the moment. And especially for me, when I'm like singing, I'm like, okay, like, don't think of anything. Like, you just,
block it out, start.
Yeah, you literally, you're just there. You just exist.
But especially you want to be good, obviously. I'm monotone, so you have no way to help me. I'm useless. But overall, if someone has some talent, you want them to flourish, because then again, that we talked before, self-confidence, obviously, they can become a better and better person, so they help somebody else to become a better person outside of here.
Yeah.
How many people come and have been a student here and have come back to help or intern or work here? Does that happen a lot?
It's happening more and more. Actually,
you're 3. Okay.
Yeah, so, but in the summer times, a lot of the kids that I teach at the high school down the street, they come and they visit me, and they'll come and they'll do, like stuff envelopes or do stuff like that. Yeah. And actually, 2 of the new teachers that we have here were actually students of mine.
Oh, okay.
And so, like I always tell my students that are like, working really hard, I'm like, keep working hard, because, you can come, teach for Miss Monica one day, or you can come hang out here while you're in high school.
Awesome. And in high school too, do they move on to where they play in the band or join theater?
Yeah, a lot of them are in musical theater.
We talk about that group that is your prime group, where 5 to say 15 years old. They actually go into that.
Yeah, a lot of them are either participating in school or they're part of theater groups outside in the community.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and then they bring their music here to work on it.
And after high school, what kids have gone on to other things? What's the next step to them usually?
I actually have, in the time that I've been teaching music, I've had like maybe 3 of my students come back to me and say, I'm going to study music because you like showed me that I could do it.
Wow. Okay.
I know somebody else that went into like broadcasting or something like that. And it was the craziest thing, because someone said to me, and I didn't even think about it. She's like, do you know why like I went into like TV and I went into modeling and all that stuff? And I was like, no. She's like, because I remember you used to always tell me I could do it. And I was like, what?
So you're almost their teacher, but also the mentor at the same time.
Yeah, and I mean, I get like Facebook messages from people that I haven't heard from in like years, and they're like, there was this pivotal moment, this conversation I had with you, and you said this to me. Like, had someone say to me, don't do that. Like, said to them, like, don't you dare make a choice like that because you're a leader.
Phenomenal.
And then now they're like doing like huge things. I'm like, wow.
But you're with them enough to where you get them to where they may be here one day, and down here when you catch them here, they remember that.
Yeah,
they remember
and
that moment.
Being a teacher, a music teacher, is not just a music teacher. We think it is, but I'm sure maybe in your field too. Like your patients come to you, or your clients come to you, and they trust you, and so you're not just what you're doing, but sometimes you're kind of their therapist. Yeah. They need somebody to talk to.
They know what to talk to. Everyone else is like, I trust you with my chiropractic care. I trust you with my music abilities. Maybe become somewhat a friend to me. I trust in my personal life too.
You know, sometimes, and there's been times where sometimes I have to give hugs because people are crying. Parents come to me and they're like, I'm having such a hard day. You just give them a hug and tell them it's going to be okay.
Why not?
Yeah.
They become I want to say therapist, but they become someone that they can trust with their whole life.
Yeah, definitely.
You've helped them not only learn how to play music, maybe sing, maybe do theater, but now you become part of why they're getting the next step. You become part of their why they want to study music in college.
Yeah. Or
why they want to join theater, maybe in high school or outside of school.
Yeah.
And that health perspective, in my sense, is you're making them want to not go to something that may be bad for them.
Yeah.
If I'm choosing to do music and spend time inside a studio and at home practicing, I'm not going to go out and make bad friends and bad choices. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, definitely.
I see people that deal with something maybe in sports or music or band, there's no time to mess around.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you want to be successful at that.
Yeah.
And if some people make the choice, hey, look, I'd rather go there, phenomenal. But realize when you make, especially in high school too, this is your window, and when you're at home, you have no expenses, you have basically free everything, and you can make the best choices because you have all these opportunities. Yeah. Once you get out of high school, you're paying for your own things. I may not be able to afford my lessons and still eat today.
Yeah.
So then you have more choices you have to make. When you make them better in high school, I think, then your mindset is better to where you have better habits, where you go into a college or post-high school setting, and now your choices are easier. You only choose good things.
I think also along those lines is when you're busy and you're a child and you're going, you're learning the discipline of like having to practice, having to do your homework, having to, some kids do like piano and singing and soccer and gymnastics or something like that.
And so go to school full time.
Yeah, and they go to school and then they have a social life. It's like,
time for that.
Right? But it's amazing because those are the ones that are setting themselves up for success. Setting themselves up for when they go to college, you know what? I can handle this workload. Yeah. And I have this discipline. I know like how hard it is, or I know that I worked on these 3 measures of music for 2 weeks because it was that hard for me. Yeah. But I know that I can do it.
Their work ethic is already here coming out of high school versus most people are here.
Yeah.
So when they get to college, if college work ethic requires here, they're already above that. They go, this is easy.
Yeah.
If you skate through high school, and just high school kids in general, if you're skating through high school, not skater, but you just get by, at that point, you get to college like, this is so much harder. Because you didn't get yourself ready for that. You can get ready to hit the fastball versus a slow pitch baseball, for one, too. And your adult students, after, say, 15, 20 years old, how do they use music as a therapy, or what do they use music for?
A lot of them, some of them are retired, and they're looking for something fun to do. I have one student, he cracks me up. He's like, I'm here. He's like, I'm doing music because I'm going to keep my mind. Like, I'm
not going to lose it.
Yeah, I'm not going to forget anything. And but the studies show that music helps with Alzheimer's. You're constantly using the left side and the right side of the brain when you're playing with both hands and you're doing piano. But that's why they come. Or a lot of times I get adults that are like, okay, I have more time now.
I like music.
Settled. This is something I just never chose to do when I was younger.
Great.
And I just want to try. And we get to give them the confidence. And I think I see more adults crying in my studio than I see children, because they get to these moments where they're just like, oh my goodness, like I could do this.
I've had a whole breakthroughs. Life. I've done everything I wanted to do. Now when I do something I really want to do, and I can still do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they realize that they're capable.
Amazing.
And then some of them do recitals, and they're shaking before they get up on stage.
Like they're a little kid, like, this is my 5-year-old body. What's going on?
Yeah, and they're just so proud of themselves. It's amazing. I love it.
That's great. So I remember seeing my oldest son. He's in music, and we're going to battle with band, and there's guys in their 60s playing.
Yeah, it's
and they're
fun.
I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Versus little kids. Yeah. But they're out there having fun, having a blast.
Yeah.
That's great. Good. And with adults too, what drives them to bring other people in, their friends, family, or how do you get them to come in?
I think that they're just having so much fun,
Okay.
and they end up sharing it with their friends. I have a lot of students, actually adult students, that decided to join like a choir or decided to join choir like at church.
Yes.
And so then they end up telling all their church friends, like, you know, because they're like, you know, they just want so badly to be able to get better at their craft.
Yes.
And so they end up like telling their friends, and then all of a sudden, you know, like half the choir is coming to music tree.
Like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of what you're getting is how do you find someone that loves what you do? At that point, tell more people. That's why you've grown almost fivefold in the last year.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And I think the other thing is not only they love it, but that I love it. That the teachers here, we love it.
Amazing.
That like every day, like literally, that a student that I get to sit 30 minutes with, I'm just like, there's some days where I'm just smiling, or where I see breakthrough and I want to cry because I'm just like, you literally are making my dreams come true.
Huh.
You are my dream. Like,
It doesn't
you
become work at that point.
Yeah, like you students and the people that walk through my doors, like, you're my dreams. Like, you're my dreams coming to life.
And you've helped create that. You just give them the push that way, and now you've seen the results. You're like, this is what I hope for. And you have your tribe of not only clients but also staff that support that dream.
Yeah.
For not only for yourself but also for the students too. So that drives more and more people to this type of thing for their own therapy, their own confidence builder, their own self-esteem, to see them improve, become a better person, and get that outside of here to show that, be the example of, and they ask them where to get it from music trail.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents. How my story would go. Anything else to add? What's your next step? How else do you want to help people become healthier in this sense and stay healthy?
So the next step is this year I started doing yoga and meditation.
Got it.
And I think, you know, the singing bowls and sound meditation is so powerful because music is the same thing. You're using sound to, you know, heal. And so we actually once a week offer a sound meditation and yoga class at Music Tree on Wednesdays.
Wow.
And so I decided, you know, for the next year, I kind of want to push that more and help people experience that.
Is it more for relaxation, more for meditation, more for both?
I'd say relaxation and being in the present, like being in the moment. I think that a lot of us are just so busy in our day, especially as business owners, moms, dads. We're just running around like crazy. We forget that moment to just kind of de-stress. And I think I was reading somewhere that like 60% of illness is because of stress.
Yes.
So more. Okay. So a lot of times we get sick because we're stressed. It's not even because you know. And
I'm going to say not because you're stressed, because you don't know how to deal with stress. So it's called stress better. If we're not unhealthy, at that point we're feeding the stress. Versus if we do things like music, like working out, like yoga, like stretching, like walking, like listening to good music, at that point our body can de-stress and become healthier, tolerate more stress. I may get stressed driving down the street. Someone next to me will be like, yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Because their body might be healthier to tolerate that more, so they don't get the overall physical, chemical, hormonal reaction in their body to become tense over time, causing arrhythmia, causing high blood pressure, causing diabetes, causing them to eat bad foods to feed the bad stress that you actually have ready. They become a different state of health, which people sometimes medicate, and this is my soapbox. Medicate versus deal with it naturally and figure out habits they can do outside of work to get themselves healthy. We all have time. Okay, time's not a thing. We work, say, eight hours a day at a salary job. What we can do beforehand, getting up early, working out before the sun gets up, or working out afterwards. Or make part of your work, part of your workout, to maybe a mental relaxation, mental stress, mental break, or a physical break too.
Yeah.
You know, you've taught me one thing too. I focus on so much physical recovery and de-stressing your body. The mental part too, and I was talking to my son too, how music becomes such a therapy for people to relax and enjoy life, and a way to de-stress your body so you can deal with that stress at a higher level and not have physical reaction to it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's huge. It's huge. Again, that's my soapbox.
So I just hope to share that. Obviously, continuing to grow our musical theater workshop for it.
What is that?
So it's our workshop where the kids come and they learn. We put on a show.
Okay.
We put on a show that has like different scenes in it, and the kids learn how to run their lines. They learn how to sing and dance at the same time. So we put on a whole show. And so this year we're anticipating that the numbers for musical theater workshop will double. This year is the first time that I did musical theater workshop in my own school. I've taught musical theater and I've directed at several other places. I've just never done it in my own business. And I said, okay, I'm ready to take it on.
Are you ready? This time,
yes,
are you
ready?
This time ready.
It was a lot of work, but it was amazing to see it. But more people learning about it. So the amount of kids that we had this time, I anticipate that it's going to double.
Yes.
So just growing that program and looking at other couple of locations to possibly open another branch.
Are there places like this already in Inland Empire or in, say, the nation that have something like this?
I would say there are very many music schools,
and
I've taught at several music schools in the Inland Empire, and chose to learn from those people and turn some of my music teachers into mentors. But I would say what makes Music Tree very different is our philosophy of creating a fruitful music education, creating a really strong foundation, and creating something where they're growing and roots are deep, but it's not competitive.
Got it.
There's something different here. Music Tree feels like a family.
It's not, hey, I'm going to choose you over Sally because she's a better singer.
Yeah, no, it's not.
We're going to form a band. We're going to have a theater production, but it only can take 10 of you guys.
Yeah.
Who's the better ones?
Or it's everybody gets a part.
It's phenomenal.
I could have 50 kids, and somehow, some way, I'm going to figure out how you're going to get a little line. If you don't want a big line, that doesn't matter. You're going to get something. So this last musical theater workshop, I think we had 13 kids.
Okay.
Every child had a solo, and every child had lines.
Wow.
So if we have to rewrite scripts, we have to do things to make it so that everybody gets a chance. Here, it's about getting a chance. That I don't want Music Tree to ever be something where it becomes competitive. It's like, I will make you good enough to compete. I'll prepare you to compete. You just won't do it here. You can do it out in the world.
You may have a 15-year-old here out of your 13 kids you mentioned, 15, 12, 10, and 9, they're different levels.
Yeah.
So why not give them something at their level and actually work with them there to build their confidence up with their solo as they become from 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 10 to 12. They build that confidence, self-esteem, and competence. So once you get to that point, they can go to a high school theater and compete if they want to.
Exactly.
Or a college too, college level. Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I like that philosophy.
Thank you.
So everybody wins.
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Good. Good. All right. Anything else to add?
I think that's it. I mean, the first lesson's always free, so if anybody watching ever wants to come and check us out, you can come and do a free lesson. We have piano, voice, guitar, and drums.
Good.
In our musical theater workshop, Mommy and Me class. Check out our website, our Instagram.
I'm going to post this. I'm going to put all the information too, all the content information, website, Instagram, Facebook, Instabook, all the books and grams out there for one too.
Here.
that point, check it out because something to where I never thought about how to use music as a therapy. And if you're a child or a parent who has a child that may not be very athletic and may not find confidence, self-esteem in athletics, why not try music?
Oh yeah.
You mentioned kids that are autistic. You don't have to have a condition, but how do you find something your kid can do to enjoy that you may not have been a musician, as I was not, but something that may interest them beyond your own, expectation for your own child?
Yeah, and I mean, it's growing now where there is people are starting to work in music therapy.
Yeah.
And I get, I've had people come to me and I've said, I don't have like the credentials. I'm not a music therapist. I said, but I've read many of the books. I said I'm willing to sit with your child and kind of see where it goes. And it's amazing because you see even some of these special needs students that come that are using music as therapy. It's the breakthrough that they make and the way that they are able to express themselves through music. They're brilliant. And
most parents don't want the kid to go from, say, being introvert, maybe having a condition toward they're not very social, to jump and become the number one kid, the cool kid in the class. But can you get the kid to go from where he is now as a parent to a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more? This is where I think a good start is. At that point, progress from there and gain that trust with a teacher like Monica and her staff too, so you see overall benefit for your kids. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Monica, our first video I think was successful.
Thank you so much.
That one, we'll see how the next one goes. Thank you for the episode of Crooked Spine Show and see you for the next one. Have a good day.